Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse has broken Sony Animation's history record to become their highest grossing film ever. You want to guess how much it's made? Well, more than $800 million Canadian, and it has a Canadian connection thanks to this.
Want to get out of here?
Oh, win? So wait a minute, there's an elite crew with all the best spider people in it?
Who's the new guy?
This is unbelievable.
Now, it's hard to believe that that is a fan-made trailer for the film made by a local teen, Preston Mutanga. The 14-year-old's work instantly went viral, catching the eyes of many, including Sony Pictures, and within a few months, it took him from Milton to Hollywood, creating a scene for the film. And the legend, the animator, is right here right now. Preston, I'm kind of geeking out a little bit because I saw the film and I'm a big fan. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good this morning.
I mean, no wonder you're doing great. I mean, you got a chance to animate a key scene in the movie. So let's go all the way back to that trailer. When you first did it and you posted it in January, at what point did the studio reach out to you?
They actually saw it like a day later, which I was pretty surprised to find out. Like, I posted it not expecting much, but then I just found out like they had contacted me like a day later. But it turns out like I didn't see the email because it's for some reason sent to my junk. Yeah. So like the only reason I knew about it was like a month later they tried contacting me through Twitter DMs, and then I realized that they had emailed me before. Wow. And I'm so glad I saw they emailed me on Twitter because like else I would never have seen it because I have no idea why it's sent to my junk.
Yeah, I know. Imagine missing that, but the important part is you didn't miss it, and you got the chance to animate that scene. And I'm curious, how did it all start for you? Have you always had this sort of creative, artistic eye?
Yeah, I actually got into art like really when I was younger, like 3 years old, and I got into animation just watching like a lot of animated movies, like especially from Disney and Pixar when I was like really young. I just like really liked that your imagination was the limit when it came to these movies. Like you could do anything when it comes to animation. And
your dad Theo's here, he's behind the scenes, and you can see how proud he is, and rightfully so, because he kind of helped you along this path. He introduced you to the software, because he uses it for work, he's a physicist, but you decide to use it for something completely different. So how did that come to be, and also how did your parents react and your family and friends react when they found out, oh, you're going to be a part of one of the biggest movie franchises out there?
So they actually found out until like after June 2nd when the movie came out, but I didn't even have to tell them. They just like, they found out on their own. Apparently I was all over TikTok. There was like news stuff talking about me. There was articles. Yeah, they basically just found out on their own. Then they kept coming up to me and being like, hey, Preston, you're famous. And I'm like, okay.
Hey, well, you got a chance to go to Hollywood. You walked the red carpet. You met the masterminds behind the film. You were coordinating with them throughout the whole process. Hearing that number, that it's almost close to $1 billion worldwide in terms of that gross, that's a lot of eyeballs, including mine. Does that feel a little trippy, a little weird for you?
Yeah, it's a little surreal, not gonna lie, but I'm glad that it's getting the attention it deserves, and it definitely deserves to go to like $1 billion. I'd love to see that.
And what was it like to be in the audience, to see? It's one thing to kind of be hunched over on your computer, on your desktop, because you probably looked at every frame a whole lot for the span of a few months. So to see it on the big screen amongst all the fans at the premiere, that must have been surreal.
Yeah, honestly, it felt like a fever dream. Like I was like, there's no way I'm seeing my work on the big screen. Like I was just so glad that everyone was like enjoying it. I love seeing the audience reactions to it. Like they were just laughing and stuff. I loved it.
So give me a sense of what it takes to animate your scene and how to work with that, because we see the final product, it looks effortless, it blends so well into the film, but to actually go through that process, how long did it take? I mean, did you map it out on paper first?
No, actually, they gave us storyboards. Like on our first Zoom call, they gave us storyboards where I looked over them. Then after that Zoom call, I just tried to like imagine how it would look like for the final product. And the whole thing took me like 3 months including planning, but then like 1 month actually animating, and the bulk of it was done on like spring break.
That is so surreal. Do you see yourself having a future? Would you like to be an animator?
Yeah, for
working
sure.
on films like this? Yeah,
for sure. I'd love to be like a director/animator and like maybe like even directing my own projects.
Any tips for any young creatives out there? I think a lot of times, I know when I was a kid, I wanted to be creative and my parents were supportive, but sometimes you got to convince your parents because they're used to being like, you got to do the math, the science. So any advice for any young creatives out there who want to kind of follow your steps. I know it's just the beginning, but yeah, any tips for them?
Honestly, I'd say like just keep doing what you're doing. Like never give up, and what you're doing now. You're amazing at what you're doing. Like you're always amazing, and like just don't give up. You can honestly do it. You can do it. Don't ever tell yourself you can't.
The limit does not exist, right?
Yeah,
when it
there's no
comes to
limit.
creativity. Preston Mutanga, thank you so much. Congratulations. The first movie won an Oscar, so who knows? You might be walking the red carpet come next year. So if you do, you got to come back and visit us, okay?
Yeah.
And if you win that Oscar, all right. Preston, thank you so much for joining us. You can check him out on YouTube, on social media as well. Amazing work. There's a cool blooper reel in there that he did as well. So check that out.